And that little girl was me. And that little girl was me.
But let's move to another powerful, black, educated, HBCU grad,
D9 member,
D9 repped, island, Indian, Jamaican, and all that and above. My girl, your girl,
yes,
next Vice President of the United States and your 2024 candidate and soon to be President of the United States, Kamala, not Kamala Harris. Let's talk about that.
Come on, let's talk about Debbie. You know what? I think this is a moment. I think this is a moment for people of color. I think this is a moment for women. I think it's a moment for women of color. I think it's a moment for graduates of HBCUs. I think it's a moment for marginalized people and for those children that have marginalized people to say, man, I can be that. I can do that. I can become that. And I think that not only did Biden revive his campaign, but I think that he has given himself a leg up, so to speak, because I think Kamala is going to get on stage and maybe she's going to talk that good talk that she needs to talk. He can't do because
let's put a pin in there because I think we should show what kind of fire we're talking about. So let's look at this and then we can go to Dr. Matthews.
Ms. Williamson, thank you very much.
Vice President Biden, we're going to get to you. Hang on, we're going to get to you.
Stage, I would like to speak on the issue of race. So, on the issue of race, I couldn't agree more that this is an issue that is still not being talked about truthfully and honestly. There is not a black man I know, be he a relative, a friend, or a coworker, who has not been the subject of some form of profiling or discrimination. Growing up, my sister and I had to deal with the neighbor who told us her parents couldn't play with us because we were black. And I'm going to now direct this at Vice President Biden. I do not believe you are a racist. And I agree with you when you commit yourself to the importance of finding common ground. But I also believe, and it's personal, and it was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country. And it was not only that, but you also worked with them to oppose busing. And, there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools. And she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me. So I will tell you that on this subject, it cannot be an intellectual debate among Democrats. We have to take it seriously. We have to act swiftly. As Attorney General of California, I was very proud to put in place a requirement that all my special agents would wear body cameras and keep those cameras on.
You know what? That's what accountability, responsibility looks like. She made sure he knew, I don't think you're racist before we get into that. I don't think you are a bad person, but you must answer for what you did. You'll be friends.
Yeah, and she laid that on the line right then and there, just like a true AKA. That's how we rock, girl.
But I'm gonna let y'all have your day, your moment.
But I'll tell you, this is a moment like I'm serious because first of all, we the first at everything. That's no.
Are you really?
Okay, we the first at everything. Now we're gonna be the first, having the first African American vice president and soon to be president. Baby, it can't get no better than that. I'm sorry, it cannot.
Listen, I'll do a ski sweep for y'all. Like, you know what I mean? We will. We're going to get into the D9. We're going to put all our business on the street. We do that when we go backstage. But today is about Senator Harris. Her being picked as the vice president running mate with Joe Biden. And I think that this is a pivotal moment, but I also think that we need to be very conscious of what we now need to ask for. Right? She has to be held accountable. He has to be held accountable. Like, this is not just some moment, a feel-good moment for us to, get up with emotionality. This is also like, what is your agenda? What are you going to ask this administration for? How are you going to hold them accountable and responsible for what they're doing in office?
I agree.
And this, it ain't just the presidential race.
Yes.
It's the Senate. It's the House. It's your local elections.
Yes. That's what counts.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're dealing with both chambers.
You're dealing with a whole bunch of things right now. So
City government, city politics.
But you have fire right now to really educate yourselves about this ballot come November.
But vote all the way on that.
I feel like one of the most difficult parts of that clip for me was the mere fact that she had to do like Black women have to do all the time. She had to fight to be seen in a conversation that was about her. Like, that was so telling. She literally had to butt in, call the moderators out, and force them to allow her to speak on something that she was the only one that actually had experience on the stage of dealing with. So I think that I do agree. I'm all about accountability and responsibility. I was just telling someone yesterday, actually, on Facebook, that accountability and responsibility can be damaging if it's not balanced and fair also.
Correct.
When you're dealing with politics. So one thing that I encourage all of my Black and brown and yellow and whatever, white girls, anybody, before you start attacking and holding Biden and Kamala responsible for healing the last 400 years of terror, we have to hold the person in the White House accountable. Because we're in a place of normalizing things, right? So we don't hold Trump accountable, but we hold the person that's running for the office accountable. Well, guess what? Trump is the one that can actually do it now. We're hoping that they get in to do it. So all they will tell us what they will do if they have the chance.
I'm just curious.
He's carrying out his agenda. He's doing it now.
But you know what, though? I'm just curious to see what's his name got up since now this information has leaked. Kanye. I'm just curious to see what you got going on. And I'm also curious to see as far as with Trump as well, because this didn't throw the whole kind of curveball in your election, pretty much. So,
that's what Trump believed that this was detrimental. Like, him picking Harris is negative. It's going to have a negative impact on his campaign, and therefore actually help Trump when it comes to November in the numbers. And I don't necessarily see that. I don't.
No matter who was chosen, it was going to be a negative. Like, no matter who was chosen, there's nobody on this earth that can run for anything that ain't no dirt gonna come out of, right?
Right.
But the best part about Kamala is that she just went through the biggest vetting running for president. So anything we hear now will just be, oh, we heard that last year. What we're going to hear now from Trump, which is what we already started hearing if you've been watching his Twitter, is that he's going to just use the fact that she checked Biden on stage, because that's the first thing he tweeted out. But don't forget, she's also, in the last year and a half, she's had more bipartisan bills to pass than any senator has had in the history of the United States government. So what she has is an appeal on both sides of the aisle, and that's what everyone likes about her. Somebody said, baby, she did that speak and stand your ground. Don't let them run you. Don't let them run over you. Fight for our rights. I love that. My whole thing, I went on a slew of posts today because Kamala told y'all what was on the ballot. So I was making sure people knew what was on the ballot. Y'all, I can talk forever on Kamala. So I want y'all to talk because, I've been talking about it for the last year.
You actually called this.
Yeah.
Like, I remember in conversation numerous of times that Wendell stated that it would be the perfect time for Biden to pick her. I really wanted him to pick Sheila Jackson Lee, which both of my sorrows, first of all. But either one would have been the best pick. Yeah, now see, by you calling that may come.
I put on Facebook December the 16th, and my friend inboxed me tonight about it. I put a picture on December 16th. It was a picture of Kamala and Joe Biden. I put the dream team. And I posted it on December 16th. If I tell you, this was just something that I felt in my bones. And I feel in my bones they're going to win, but I know we have to do the work.
Yes.
But, and I'm like with Aurelia with this though, we have to make sure that our agenda is effectively communicated, because they need to, I'm talking about the Black agenda. They need to know that it's going to be effectively communicated and that we're going to hold them accountable to this. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we can have anybody going in that White House, but we got to make sure that they're going to be all the way for our people, because we can like them all day long, but we got to make sure you do what you say and you mean what you say. And
we also have to realize, be very honest, that she's not above reproach. Like, she's going to be critiqued, like Obama was critiqued. She's going to be critiqued, and especially, come she's the first everything vice president, she's going to be critiqued heavily, as is Joe Biden. And, we've been saying all day, but we have to have our stuff together. Like, you need to be on commissions, advisory boards, you need to be at school board meetings, whatever it is that you need to do. You need to get with your civic associations and all of these folks, because you need to know what it is that you need for your neighborhood. You need to know what it is that you need for your community, what it is that you need for for your industry. Like, you need to have that ready. And it's not a matter of, we just gonna put all of this on the Black woman's shoulders, because she needs help. And again, she's the vice president, so she really don't have a lot of
But don't you think? Well, this is just one of my things I put on Facebook today also, that we can talk about all of the critiques later. Mm-hmm. Right now, we need to work on catapulting them into the office, because we get so caught up on this Black on Black crime as far as our mouths and just saying any damn thing and just fussing no matter what and just, all of that. We get so caught up on that we hurt ourselves. Mm-hmm. Critiques are needed, right? They are needed, but you got to be careful, because there is a person that is independent that doesn't really know who they want to vote for, and they're listening to you. So if you're spending all your time bashing Kamala and Joe Biden and saying nothing about Donald Trump, you left them with no other option but to either stay at home or vote for Donald Trump. So we have to be careful with that, because you hear a lot of that, especially with Black women. She's already been told by white men that she was too ambitious. So I think that Black people should be the number one supporters. I think the other piece of that is we have to stop expecting our government officials to only care about the Black agenda. I looked at that interview with the Latinx woman and Joe Biden last week, and it was very specific on how Latin America feels like Joe Biden is putting all of his effort into Black America and not Latinx. But then Black people are saying he's not doing enough. Now somebody lied. Somebody lied.
I think my whole deal is this. I think that all of these actual race organizations, they need to have their actual agenda, and they need to hold them accountable to it, because at the end of the day, you need all of these votes in order for you to get in there. So, but I can't speak for Latinx, because I'm not Latinx. Right. So I can only speak for me. Now, Esmeralda, y'all need to get y'all together. I'm just saying.
And I think it needs to be intersectional. Not only do I think that Black folks need to get together, those that, have the consciousness.
It needs to be a collaboration.
Yes, and I think then women need to get together, and women of color need to get together, and then Latinx women need to get together. There has to be some type of want. Like, you got to go in wanting something. You got to go in with some demands. Yeah. And you can't just wait for folks to do things for you. Like, that's not what government, they're so far removed from what actual life is.
And that's why we end up with the type of stuff that we end up with, because we don't set the stuff already from the jump. And then once they get, that's even with the local elections. When we don't set the stuff from the jump, they'll turn around and they'll get right on up in there and they're going to do their own agenda.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we have to be on top of this.
So we know what we got to do. And we know that we have to hold, because nobody is above reproach. Nobody. So we know that we have to hold people hold their ass to the fire, but don't burn them. because we need them to get in the office. Remember, people, all they can do is tell us what they hope they can do. At the end of the day, they don't know because they are not there yet. So we want to thank everybody. Make sure y'all are sharing. Tonight was very, very compact but impactful, I hope.
It was. Got a little tense there, Coach.
We covered a lot.
Yeah.
We done covered from
came up quite
everything about the culture, baby. Everything about the culture. We did PUS capital C Valley. Hey, last week's top fan. We had last week's top fan was Constance Jones and Pharrell Bonner.
Oh, well, first of all, Constance Jones is a state officer with the Texas Coalition of Black Democrats.
Oh, that's what's up. Well, what's up, Constance? Hit me up. Y'all need me to come do a seminar, a workshop? Hit me up. WendellKing.com, baby. Hit me up, WendellKing.com. But
Pharrell Bonner is a precinct chair in Fort Bend.
okay. And then we have Tessa and Gerald.
That's her people. That's critical.
So make sure y'all tune in this Thursday. We have the one and only comedian educator of 25 years, Miss Jennifer Germany. And I promise you that interview is going to make you laugh, but it is also going to touch your heart in a very unusual way. So that is going to be Thursday at 7 p.m. And ladies, as always, I have enjoyed this conversation.
Amazing, y'all.
Baby, I love bringing this out because, baby, y'all make me bring this out, honey.
And you make me bring this out.
Well, I ain't brought nothing out today but my CS.
Well, guys, as always, share. And Dr. Matthews, I know you have something for us.
You know what? I sure do. Okay, hold fast to dreams. For if dreams die, life is broken winged bird that cannot fly. Langston Hughes. And I repeat once again, hold fast to dreams. For if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Langston Hughes.
Well, as always, y'all, if you are not if you're not speaking truth to power, you are not really fighting the power. Professor, any last words?
Hey, y'all better get out here and get registered to vote because a non-vote for Trump is a vote for Trump. So stop playing around. Don't vote.
And
get in our inboxes. We can get you signed up, baby.
And with that said, good night. Share, and share alike. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Subscribe.
We'll see y'all next week.
In that order.